Hello there and welcome back to War Thunder. So in today's video I have two very similar battles for you that were played rather differently, but when it comes to the amount of kills they were rather similar. And the first short segment gets played really quickly because we are again in an SPA, this time the French AMX-30 DCA, and the chassis of this AMX-30 gives it a significantly higher speed than when it comes to the comparable weapon system, the British Falcon. And we are now bypassing A, and I know that there is one enemy tank. I hear a helicopter, and I think that there are also a lot of tanks coming around the side of the church from the right and from the left. Yes, I saw all those tanks, but my target designation, target location is here behind the bombed out church. And now, yeah, I'm rubbing my hands. I'm really looking forward because this is fantastic. This position is outright awesome. So thinking about knocking out the gun barrel via hitting the muzzle brake of this US tank, we knock out the driver instead, then go for the hull ammo rack, we blow it up. I thought my cover was blown, but this British gentleman had no idea, and we're shredding the crew. He comes to a standstill, and now the APDS finds the crew. Helicopter, be gone. And there are still some enemies in A. You can see my team has kind of died and they are currently busy respawning on the northern spawn. I saw a third tank on this side. He comes around the corner or above the ridgeline with the turret, and then we knock out the turret crew, and that's another kill. That was what, 4 quick kills just like that? That was amazing, but I'm not done yet. And so I want to go here into A. Just waiting for it, looking around. Okay, seems all to be clear. And yeah, I see the tank of this building, but I need a clean shot. They're probably not expecting me. They're looking forward, so I have either their side or their rear. Let's first deal here with the British again. And that was a good crew knockout. And then we also dealt equally quickly with the US version. And that is just amazing. And I'm decapping just when I thought I had a clean run. I get shot in the back by some really awful, boring camper dude. But we're in cover, we're repairing, 14 seconds, and we are in the process of capping A. There is support coming my way, so I'm really confident that I still can make something out of the situation. There are some tanks coming around, but I'm again fully operational. And again, I hear yet another helicopter. Just before I can cap, I smoke up just to make sure that I don't see any nasty surprises coming my way before I can cap. I choose to stand still to get some smoke back, and then I reverse. Yeah, all the French memes. But in all honesty, this is also refreshing compared to the Falcon. So the radar is obviously warranting the higher battle rating, and I think I'm safe here. And again, I get disabled, I get immobilized, I smoke up, so you can see it was really worth it. The helicopter is shredding my way. First I thought it would be a tank, but he flew really low. And the radar guidance, well, it's deceiving me, and I can't hit this guy for the love of it. Now let's immobilize that guy. Let's shred this guy. I have not even any idea what it was. Doesn't really matter. M60. And then, you know, there is a saying in War Thunder, only SPA can kill SPA. That was fantastic. 7 really quick, dirty kills and a cap. Fantastic. And that in like, what, 4 minutes since the start of the video? Or since the start of the actual gameplay? Fantastic. But let's now go to this battle, and I play it differently and more rewarding, and you can see why. So, AMX-30 DCA. What's so good? What's not so good about it? Well, first of all, it has a very similar weapon system to the before mentioned British Falcon, which sits at 7.7, and this one has 8.0. The main differences are the MX-30 DCA has a radar, which is fantastic to, you know, be aware that there are targets in the air, but it doesn't distinguish between friendly or enemy contacts. Also, if you stop the radar from rotating, you still have the target radar with the lead indicator, but also the radar antenna doesn't flip back, so it gives you still a very high silhouette. A downside is that you have only 5 degrees of gun depression, but also 85 degrees of gun elevation. The turret rotation is also brilliantly fast compared to together with the Falcon, with 80 degrees per second and a gun elevation speed of 45 degrees per second. This gives you a rather arcadey feeling compared to your opposition whenever you fight. And it's brilliant in city fights in close quarters, which we had in the previous fight and also here. Very often I'm not really happy with the map selection when it comes to how I want to play my normal, regular, medium, heavy or light tanks. Where I think that flanking should be rewarded, just like shredding this guy here. That was due to the stabilizer. It works best at under 30 kilometers per hour. The high elevation speed of your gun compensates then when the I think first plane stabilizer gets off duty over 35-ish kilometers per hour, but it's better than nothing. The Falcon in this aspect again is better. Now, why do I mention the Falcon here all the time? Well, it's the weapon system. It is very similar. We have here two 30mm HSS 831A cannons, and for all intents and purposes, you have twice as much ammunition as the Falcon. Also, there are tightly together the gun barrels and not like on the edges of the turret, which gives you a bit more concentrated firepower. And then you have obviously the same ammunition type. I use here the APDS-T belt, which has 3 different shell types. 4 are constantly repeating. You have the APDS round with 110mm of penetration and 42mm of penetration at 60 degrees angles of attack, which is fantastic when you fight, weakly protected Western MBTs or other SPA. Then you also have 2 API shells that act for all intents and purposes just like very small tiny APHE shells, but they have significantly less penetration, only 53mm, but they have better post-penetration damage, and versus aircraft you still then can rely on the HE belt. Now that was fantastic because I knew that the cap was blocked, and I want to get now my reward because that RE251 did something very smart. He apparently turned off his engine, so my colleague in the AMX-30 1972 has no idea that it was just driving by this German light tank. Anyway, so didn't really get a reward from capping, and now I want to transition to B because this is where I expect the fight to continue. Currently the cap is occupied by our team. There you can see that the radar signal just looks like an enemy signal, but it is obviously a friendly one. And here I want to be really careful. I don't want to fight in the open because this vehicle, while having the hull of the AMX-30, which makes it rather immune from the front for autocannon fire, regular SPA fire, the turret itself is not really amazing with only 20mm or even down to 10mm of cast homogeneous armor. So this can be killed rather quickly. And the turret, is not really that big. But watch this. So there the APDS rounds find their way into the T-44, I guess it's a T-44-100. We knock out the gun barrel, knock out the gunner, and knock out also the driver. And that shell went nowhere because the gun barrel blew up. So we still saw the tracer, but that's just a remnants of old game mechanics. Now here we can see what the combination of low gun depression and high mounted guns do. Even on flat terrain, finding the shots into the hull of the T-44 was a bit difficult. Not so difficult on the BMP-1, which was just a little bit further away. Yes, I see this T-10 myself, but I don't open fire. Small chance of actually killing this guy before he can kill me. Again, the turret is weakly enough protected for his heavy machine gun to knock me out, or that I suffer crew loss. And I only have 3 crew, 2 in the turret, 1 in the hull. So I expect to see some enemy targets coming around this location, and I predicted correctly. He gets screwed over by the building, stopping him dead, and so I make him dead from the side. And now we are in the cap, but the cap was not completely uncapped, and so while I am alone in the cap at the moment and get it completely myself, I get a bit less than usual. Now recently I have spent a lot of money or golden eagles rather on putting talismans via discount on some SPA, and I have played quite a bit of SPA for grinding purposes lately. You saw me in the Tunguska, which is just hilarious. You also saw me in the Falcon, which you should watch the video because it's still very fantastic and you have a direct comparison. And well, the other difference when it comes to the Falcon is obviously the mobility, because the Falcon isn't really fast. The Falcon has what, a 13 horsepower per ton ratio. This has just under 20, and you really feel the difference. However, the ground pressure, it reminds me in certain situations more of a wheel tank, especially on inclinations. You lose so much torque. Your brakes are also surprisingly weak. You should avoid those situations, also because you only have 5 degrees of gun depression. So I make my team aware that A gets currently capped and also B gets decapped. So that is very interesting. And so I wanted to go near C. And now I use here this ridge line to make myself aware where there are enemy tanks. But behind the building there is an enemy tank. Now, is he aware of me? Does he listen to Sabaton? Or yeah, he does not listen to Sabaton. Otherwise he would have not heard me coming. T-44-100 again pumps a shell into my ally, and again I knock out the enemy crew here, but I only get a kill assist. And again I'm kind of confused here with the radar signals. I'm expecting enemy aircraft, enemy helicopters at some point, but it's just not the case. There I see a mouse. Okay. And B got actually captured by the enemy, so let's go there. And I don't see anything in the open, so that might be my chance to actually push out of this location. And you can see that I'm playing around the objectives, trying to disengage whenever possible, trying to engage when I have a good idea where enemies are. Hello there. And this is why an SPA is now definitely better than a light tank, thanks to the changes to hull break. Because that heat shell would have heated me before the overpressure mechanic changes. So yeah, I lost the crew, big deal. Third ring is knocked out. Yeah, some 4 seconds repair later, and I'm fully operational again with my death laser. Not planet destroying, but good enough to rack up all the kills and assists. Tanks and planes and helicopters alike. Okay. So my obvious target is now B. And this is usually the situation where somebody camps somewhere and just snipes me. Now here, this brave soldier has finally entered the cap again, and we enter it before the actual capping process has begun. So that means we get at least half of the RP, which is fine by me. There are multiple aircraft in the air. The tank rack here is in a really awkward position, and let me tell you, a lot of people think that the radar is overpowered. That might be true for the Tunguska with its radar-guided missiles, but here, with the lock-on mechanics where it's flickering around, where also the lead indicator is not 100% correct, I think very often with the Falcon I would have gotten more kills than with the radar. Obviously, it helps you warning that something's coming, but look, Falcon gets the P-47D, and Ostwind snags himself the A-71, the A2D1, and the Falcon gets just split seconds later the TAR-152C3. That was a very expensive kill, to be honest, if you think about the repair costs and realistic battle of the C3 variant. So here I'm out of ammunition, and this is now the big advantage of this SPA compared to the Falcon, because the clip size is roughly the same. However, I have now reserved clips. It takes an awful long time. What is it? 53 seconds with my fully trained expert crew, but I don't need to stand still in a cap that we have to first reload the clips and then rearm them, so to speak. So I can actually freely move, I can hide, I can disengage, and now I think to myself, well, it would be a shame to not use here the huge downtime of this Russian heavy tank. The muzzle brake gave it away as being a 122mm gun, and yeah, all the smoke, right? We knocked out the gun barrel, and I'm about to kill this guy, but yeah, the Lorraine actually got the kill. Now this cap has fallen to the enemies again, and again we try to retake it. That was kill number 7 on an M48 A2C. And yeah, there is probably an enemy, what is it, BMP of some sort. And now, watch that. That is the only enemy that I can't defeat. Duh. But I can knock out his gun barrel. Well, that was both gun barrels knocked out like this. And the Mighty Mouse is defenseless. Yikes. So at least I get an assist out of that. Yeah, and thanks to the tank rack, despite the guns being mounted so highly, I can't kill here the BMP-1, but now we are again capping the point. And you know, I was very often ensuring that reinforcements are very close to the fighting zone where I want to engage the enemies. I disengaged when there was not a lot of friendlies around, and I also tried to be very conservative. And thinking about getting a crew back, yeah, there I go, and just couldn't, and the lock-on goes again to a friendly, and before I could see the target again, yeah, the Falcon snags another air kill. So a well-played Falcon gets better results. And is that a P8? Uh-oh. That was lucky. I saw the post-battle results flashing by. So sadly we don't get the kill on this P8, but we're about to win. Now I want to make sure that I don't die. So we can see how long it takes to reload those ammo belts. Now with clips you get the ammunition significantly faster and have some ammunition. Here it's literally all or nothing, and this makes SPAs such as the Falcon, such as the AMX-30 DCA, a bit more tricky to play in the long battle. You still rely on your team. And you know, it's amazing how different such a cap all of a sudden looks after P8 has visited it. So here we are at the end of the battle, and 7 kills, 3 assists and 3 caps are enough to get the Heavy Metal Hero and the Survivor Award. I might have been able to unlock here a nuke, but you know, I was so into the battle that I didn't bother. And yeah, P8, nuke, where's the difference, right? 84,000 civil lines and nearly 20,000 RP, and that without any sort of booster. That's amazing. So that was just awesome and one of the best battles that I had recently, from, you know, surviving, the kills, how I played it. I think I did very well here, so let me know in the comment section what you think about this. And yeah, that was the last challenge from the battle pass as well. So thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Please give this video a like with it, subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see each other on the waves, in the skies, and on the battlefields of War Thunder.